So maybe you've heard of the concept of direct primary care, often referred to as DPC. DPC is a way for the physician and the patient to come together directly. So the patient pays the physician on a monthly subscription plan, usually somewhere in the $75 to $150 a month range. What they get for that is often just the time that's guaranteed to them from this physician and the patient-doctor relationship that they'll have. There's usually no labs included, there's no medication included. Sometimes small procedures might be included if the physician or nurse practitioner or whoever is doing this has a physical practice. Welcome to drashori.com. My name is Dr. Ashori. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician, and here I talk about healthy aging. The other thing that I do is I have my own direct primary care practice. Some of my health coaching clients who've been with me for a while and those who are located in a state where I'm licensed, which is currently California, they eventually transition into my direct primary care practice. Not all. I think it always has to be a good fit. So what is the hesitation? What are some of the downsides? What are some of the upsides of a direct primary care practice? And what sets it apart from the mainstream practice? So a direct primary care doctor usually is somebody who has designed their practice very intentionally. There's no insurance involved, and there's nobody telling them how they should practice medicine. There is no billing that they have to do, which means that I don't have to do what the insurance company wants me to do. I don't have to follow a specific protocol or guideline to make sure that my patient can be as healthy as possible. I can deal and worry just about the patient. Oftentimes, the communication is much more flexible, is much more plastic. I can text, I can email, we can both of us go for a walk and we can chat on the phone, we can do a video chat, we can connect at random times in the day. There is no set time that I have to connect with a patient. There's no come back every 3 months and we'll see you. No, we can meet once a week, we can meet once a month. One of the things about direct primary care that makes it seem too expensive for people is because the patient, you who might be interested in hiring a direct primary care doctor or contracting with a direct primary care doctor, assumes that that PCP, which stands for primary care provider or primary care physician, is no different than the insurance-based primary care doctor, which is exactly the opposite. The whole point of a direct primary care, a DPC doctor, is they're going to exit the mainstream insurance system because they just don't think that's feasible. They think it's too much administration. It's too hyper-focused on profits. It doesn't really put the patient first. And they go into this new system where they can focus purely on the patient. They're going to spend more time. They're going to explain things. They're going to focus on prevention. They're going to focus on helping the patient find alternative, more affordable means of managing their care. And that is one thing that's very unique about direct primary care doctors. The money you pay every month is not just for something you're going to get that month. The money you pay ensures that this doctor can have a base of patients. So for example, if I have 150 patients in my panel and I charge each of them $100, that ensures that every month I'm going to get $15,000 of an income. Every single month, that's the income I'm going to have. That means it's consistent. I don't have to go and get more patients. I don't have to do anything different. I can focus on these 150 people. What a lot of direct primary care doctors do, they bring in the occasional nutritionist out of their own pocket. They bring in the occasional exercise physiologist who's going to explain certain concepts. And they might even offer discounts for certain things when they set up accounts with other vendors, for example, lab tests or supplements or food delivery services. All of this is the overhead that the physician takes on, which doesn't even include all of their other licensing and electronic health records that they have to have. All of that gets passed down to the patient. But when the patient pays that monthly fee to the doctor can ensure that, okay, I got this base of patients. All I got to do is focus on these 150 patients, make them as healthy as possible, figure out the times that I'm going to spend. So I'm going to divide up the 150 patients. Let's assume that each one of them is going to need 10 to 12 visits per year. Some are going to need 30. Some are probably only going to want 2 or 3 visits a year. And make sure that I dedicate my time, plan out my schedule over the next few months to make sure that for this calendar year, these patients get all the adequate care that they need. A direct primary care doctor is also going to be very involved with your care when you go to a specialist, when you go to the hospital, when you have to go to the ER. You almost never have to go to an urgent care unless, of course, there's something seriously wrong that absolutely requires an urgent care. As a physician who's worked in many urgent cares, 90% of people who come probably don't need to be there. So they could have saved a lot of headache and time and unnecessary testing and unnecessary treatments if they had actual access to their primary care doctor. And that's something that gets missed also, is the things that we can prevent as direct primary care doctors downstream. If you come into the ER, if you come into the urgent care and you get a test to make sure that nothing bad is happening, it might show up something, it might show something in your body that probably wasn't that important, but now everybody else is going to worry about it, they're going to want to work it up, and that leads to unnecessary spending, unnecessary testing, and as we say in medicine, unnecessary treatments. So I hope I gave you guys a good idea of what a direct primary care doctor is. I think there's a lot more that they do. I have my own direct primary care doctor. I pay $99 a month for my own doctor, and I think it's a great value. I've used her maybe twice right now, but I've been with her for 2 years. And the idea is for her to get to know me slowly, for us to call and text on occasion, for me to go see her in her office, since she actually has a physical office. I don't have a physical office for my direct primary care practice. And if one day I really, really need her, I know she's there for me. She's going to advocate for me. She's going to get to know me. She's going to know my preferences. She's going to have a lot of great resources to recommend so that I can get the best care possible.